Before you start reacting to everything, before you let every comment, every look, every situation steal your peace, understand something very important. Most of what disturbs you was never meant to control you. It was only meant to test you. Stay unbothered. Now imagine this. You wake up one morning and nothing anyone says can shake you. No insult lands deep. No disrespect changes your mood. No failure destroys your confidence. No gossip reaches your heart. You are moving through life like you are above the noise, not because life stopped talking, but because you finally stopped listening to everything. That is power. And if you are watching this right now, don't scroll away, don't skip, because what you are about to hear might be the difference between a life full of stress and a life full of control. And before we continue, if you are someone who wants more mental strength, more discipline, and a calm mind in a chaotic world, take a second and subscribe to this channel right now. This is where minds get stronger. Now let's go deeper. Most people are not suffering because of their life. They are suffering because of their reactions. Someone says something small, and suddenly the whole day is ruined. Someone ignores them, and now they feel worthless. Something doesn't go their way, and suddenly they think life is against them. But here is the truth nobody tells you clearly enough. You are not controlled by events. You are controlled by how much you allow those events to enter your mind. Stay unbothered. Because the moment you stop reacting to everything, you start controlling everything inside you. And the moment you control what is inside you, the outside world loses its grip. Think about strong people you admire. Not the loud ones. Not the emotional ones. But the calm ones. The ones who speak less but carry weight in every word. The ones who don't rush to defend themselves. The ones who don't explain themselves to everyone. The ones who just exist, steady. That is not luck. That is training. They have learned one powerful truth: not everything deserves a reaction. And you need to understand this deeply. Every time you react quickly, you give your power away. You hand your emotions to someone else. You let their behavior decide your mood. You become a puppet of other people's actions. But when you stay unbothered, you take that power back. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand you. Let them assume things. Let them doubt you. Let them move funny. You don't have to attend every argument you are invited to. You don't have to respond to every insult. You don't have to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Peace is not found in controlling the world. Peace is found in controlling your response to the world. There will be days when people test your patience. Days when life feels unfair. Days when you feel like reacting, correcting, proving, defending. But in those moments, pause and ask yourself, will this matter in 1 year? Will this matter in 1 week? Or is this just noise trying to steal my attention? Most of the time, it is just noise. Stay unbothered. Because the truth is, emotionally reactive people are easy to control. Say the right thing and they break. Do the wrong thing and they explode. Ignore them and they collapse inside. Their mood is always available for manipulation. But the unbothered mind is different. You cannot easily shake it. You cannot easily provoke it. You cannot easily distract it. It observes everything but absorbs nothing unnecessary. That is real strength. And if you are learning this, understand it will not feel natural at first. Your mind is used to reacting. Used to defending. Used to explaining. Used to overthinking. But you are going to retrain it. Slowly, you will learn to pause before reacting. Slowly, you will learn to detach your emotions from every situation. Slowly, you will learn that silence is sometimes a stronger answer than words. Not everything needs your voice. Not everything needs your energy. Not everything deserves your attention. Stay unbothered. There is something powerful about people who cannot be emotionally dragged. You can feel it when they walk into a room. They are not desperate to be understood. Not desperate to be liked. Not desperate to prove anything. They are just present. And that presence is powerful because it is not disturbed by external chaos. Let people underestimate you while you learn control. Let people misjudge you while you build discipline. Let people think you are slow while you are just focused. Let people talk while you are building. Because the truth is, noise is loud but progress is quiet. And unbothered people move in silence. Now listen carefully. Every time you react emotionally, you are training people how to treat you. You are showing them what buttons to press. You are revealing what controls you. But every time you stay calm, you are teaching them something different. You are showing them that access to your emotions is not easy. You are showing them that your peace is not negotiable. And that is when respect begins. Not forced respect. Real respect. Because calm people are dangerous in the best way. Not because they attack, but because they cannot be easily moved. Stay unbothered. Even when life delays your expectations. Even when things don't happen on your timeline. Even when people switch up. Even when plans fail. Because emotional stability is not built when everything is going right. It is built when everything is going wrong, and you still remain steady. That is the real test. Anyone can be calm when life is easy. But can you stay calm when life is loud? Can you stay silent when provoked? Can you stay focused when distracted? Can you stay grounded when everything is shaking? That is where transformation happens. You will realize that most battles are not worth fighting. Most opinions are not worth responding to. Most conflicts are not worth your energy. And the more you protect your peace, the more powerful you become. Because peace is not weakness. Peace is discipline. And now you start to understand the real meaning of staying unbothered. It is not about pretending nothing affects you. It is about choosing what deserves your attention. It is about understanding that your mind is your most valuable space, and not everyone deserves to live inside it. So guard it. Guard your reactions. Guard your emotions. Guard your attention. Because whatever gets your attention grows in your mind. Stay unbothered. And slowly, you will notice something change. Things that used to irritate you will no longer reach you. People who used to control your emotions will lose access. Situations that used to stress you will start feeling smaller. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You became calmer. You became wiser. You became harder to disturb. And that is when you start winning silently. So move like someone who understands their power. Speak less when unnecessary. React slower. Think deeper. Observe more. And above all, protect your peace like it is your greatest wealth, because it is. Stay unbothered. And if this message speaks to you, if you are choosing to build a stronger mind, a calmer spirit, and a more disciplined life, don't forget to subscribe. This is just the beginning of your mental transformation. Because in a world full of noise, the real power is staying unbothered. Most people don't realize it, but their entire emotional life is being controlled by tiny reactions they never question. A message left on seen. A tone that felt a little off. A look that seemed disrespectful. A delay that felt intentional. And suddenly, the mind starts building stories that were never real in the first place. Stay unbothered. Because the mind, when left unchecked, becomes a storyteller that often lies to you. It exaggerates. It assumes. It creates problems out of silence and enemies out of confusion. But when you are unbothered, you interrupt that cycle. You stop feeding the noise. You start asking a better question. What is actually happening? And what am I just imagining? That question alone can save your peace. Now understand this clearly. Not every feeling deserves action. Not every thought deserves attention. Not every emotion deserves expression. Some things are just passing weather in your mind. They come, they feel intense, and they leave. But if you react to every emotional weather, you will never know what inner stability feels like. Stay unbothered. Because emotional stability is not about feeling nothing. It is about not being controlled by everything you feel. There will be moments when people try to provoke you intentionally. They will say things just to see your reaction. They will act in ways designed to get a response from you. Why? Because your reaction gives them power. But when you stop reacting, you take that power away. Silence becomes your shield. Calm becomes your language. Discipline becomes your response. And suddenly, you are no longer easy to read. And that is where strength begins. People can only control what they can predict. If they know exactly how you will react, they can manipulate your emotions like a switch. But the unbothered mind is unpredictable in the best way. It does not jump. It does not explode. It does not collapse under pressure. It simply observes and continues. Stay unbothered. You will also learn something important on this journey. Not everyone deserves access to your emotional explanations. There are people who don't want understanding, they want reaction. There are people who don't want clarity, they want control. And the more you explain yourself to the wrong people, the more power you lose. Sometimes, the strongest response is no response at all. Let silence answer for you. Let distance speak for you. Let consistency prove you. Because life eventually reveals who you are without you needing to defend yourself. Stay unbothered. And you will notice another shift happening inside you. Things that used to feel like rejection will start to feel like redirection. Things that used to feel like loss will start to feel like protection. Things that used to break you will start to pass through you without damage. Not because life became easier, but because your mind became stronger. This is what emotional maturity looks like. You stop chasing approval. You stop over-explaining your intentions. You stop trying to fix every misunderstanding. You stop reacting to every disturbance. And in that space, something powerful is born, clarity. Because a calm mind sees what a reactive mind cannot see. Stay unbothered. There is also a deeper truth you need to accept. Not everyone is meant to understand you. Not everyone will see your journey clearly. Not everyone will agree with your decisions. And that is okay. You were never meant to be understood by everyone. You were meant to be steady in your own direction. The more you try to be understood by everyone, the more you lose yourself in the process. But when you stay unbothered, you start choosing alignment over approval. And alignment always wins in the long run. Stay unbothered. Because your energy is not unlimited. Every time you react emotionally, you are spending energy you will never get back. Every argument, every overthinking session, every unnecessary explanation, it all takes something from you. And most of it does not return anything meaningful. So protect your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. Channel it into growth. Channel it into discipline. Channel it into silence and progress. Let other people waste energy reacting. You invest yours building. That is the difference. Stay unbothered. And slowly, your life begins to change in ways you did not expect. You become less reactive, but more aware. Less emotional, but more intentional. Less distracted, but more focused. And people around you will start to notice that shift. They may even say you have changed. And you should smile when they say that. Because you did not become cold. You became controlled. And control is freedom. Stay unbothered. Even when things are not going your way. Even when timing feels unfair. Even when silence feels uncomfortable. Even when people misunderstand your growth. Because growth often looks like isolation before it looks like success. And those who stay unbothered long enough eventually rise above the noise that once used to control them. So keep going. Keep quiet. Keep building. Keep observing. Keep growing. And most importantly, keep your peace. Stay unbothered. Now listen carefully, because this is where most people fail without even realizing it. They think being unbothered means pretending nothing hurts. They think it means suppressing emotions, acting cold, or becoming distant from life. That is not it. Stay unbothered does not mean you feel nothing. It means you don't let what you feel control what you do. There is a big difference. You can feel disappointed and still move forward. You can feel disrespected and still stay silent. You can feel angry and still choose peace. You can feel hurt and still choose discipline. That is real power. Because emotions will always come. You cannot stop them. But you can decide whether they sit in the driver's seat of your life or just pass through like passengers. Stay unbothered. And understand this truth deeply. Most emotional suffering is not caused by the event itself, but by the meaning you attach to it. Someone ignores you, and your mind says, I am not important. Someone criticizes you, and your mind says, I am not good enough. Something fails, and your mind says, I will never succeed. But those are not facts. Those are interpretations. And if you don't control your interpretations, you will suffer in places where no real danger exists. Stay unbothered. Because strong people don't live inside emotional assumptions. They live inside reality. They separate what is happening from what they are imagining. They don't ask, why is this happening to me? They ask, what is actually happening, and what do I do next? That shift alone changes everything. Now think about your life for a moment. How many times have you reacted too quickly and later regretted it? How many times have you argued over something that didn't matter a few hours later? How many times have you given attention to things that were never worth your peace? That is not life controlling you. That is reaction controlling you. Stay unbothered. Because reaction is instant, but wisdom is slow. And if you always choose instant reaction, you will constantly lose access to wisdom. There is a version of you that responds calmly no matter what is happening. There is a version of you that does not get pulled into drama. There is a version of you that does not explain itself unnecessarily. There is a version of you that moves with quiet confidence. That version is not far away. It is just trained. And training begins with awareness. The next time something triggers you, don't rush to respond. Pause. Even if it's just for a few seconds. In that pause, you reclaim control. In that pause, you separate emotion from action. In that pause, you choose who is really in charge of your life. Stay unbothered. And you will start to notice something interesting. People who once had access to your emotions will start losing interest in disturbing you. Not because they changed, but because you stopped reacting. And without reaction, manipulation has no fuel. That is why calm people are difficult to control. Not because they fight back, but because they don't play the game. Stay unbothered. There is also something powerful happening inside you when you practice this consistently. Your mind becomes less chaotic. Your thoughts become clearer. Your decisions become sharper. And your energy becomes more focused. You stop wasting time trying to win arguments that don't matter. You stop chasing validation from people who don't understand you. You stop explaining your journey to people who are not walking it with you. And instead you start building. Quietly. Consistently. Without distraction. That is where real success begins. Because success does not come from emotional reactions. It comes from emotional discipline. Stay unbothered. And let this sink in deeply. The world will always have opinions about you. No matter what you do, someone will misunderstand you. Someone will disagree with you. Someone will criticize you. That is normal. But if you allow every opinion to enter your mind, you will never live your own life. You will be too busy living inside other people's thoughts about you. And that is a prison most people never escape. But not you. You are learning to stay unbothered. So let people talk. Let them assume. Let them guess. You don't need to correct every story about you. Time reveals everything without effort. Stay unbothered. Because your focus is more valuable than their opinions. Your peace is more important than their approval. Your direction matters more than their noise. And when you finally understand that deeply, your life becomes lighter. Not because problems disappear, but because they stop entering your mind the same way. Stay unbothered. And one day, you will look back and realize that the things that once used to shake you no longer have any effect. The people who once controlled your emotions no longer have access. The situations that once stressed you now feel small. And that version of you will be proud of this moment. The moment you chose calm over chaos. The moment you chose discipline over reaction. The moment you chose peace over ego. That is growth. So keep going. Keep your mind steady. Keep your reactions slow. Keep your focus sharp. Keep your peace protected. And above all, stay unbothered. Now we go even deeper, because at this stage staying unbothered is no longer just a mindset. It becomes a lifestyle. You don't try to be calm anymore. You naturally become harder to disturb. And people around you will start noticing something strange. Things that used to get a reaction from you no longer do. Situations that used to pull you into drama no longer catch your attention. Words that used to hurt now just pass through you. Not because you became emotionless, but because you became aware. Stay unbothered. Because awareness changes everything. When you become aware of how your mind works, you stop being a victim of it. You start watching your thoughts instead of becoming them. And once you can watch your thoughts, you are no longer controlled by them. That is freedom. Now think about how most people live. They wake up and immediately attach emotion to everything. A message comes in, emotion. A delay happens, emotion. A memory appears, emotion. A problem shows up, emotion. No space. No pause. No control. Just reaction after reaction. And that is why they feel exhausted without even doing much physically. Because emotional chaos is more draining than physical work. Stay unbothered. And understand this clearly. Your energy is not just something you have, it is something you are constantly spending. Every reaction is a transaction. Every argument is a withdrawal. Every overthinking loop is debt. And most people are emotionally bankrupt without realizing it. But you are learning something different. You are learning conservation of energy. You are learning that not everything deserves your response. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everything deserves your emotional involvement. Stay unbothered. Because when you stop reacting to everything, you start noticing everything. And that is where wisdom begins. You start seeing people more clearly. You start understanding intentions faster. You start recognizing patterns in behavior. You start predicting outcomes without stress. Not because you became emotional, but because you became observant. And observation is power. Now listen closely. There will always be two types of people in this world. The first type reacts to everything. They are easily offended, easily triggered, easily distracted. Their emotions are always visible, always accessible, always unstable. The second type observes everything. They are calm, quiet, intentional. They don't rush into reactions. They understand timing. They understand silence. They understand control. One lives in chaos. The other lives above it. Stay unbothered, and choose the second path. Because chaos is loud, but it is weak. Calm is quiet, but it is powerful. Now let's go deeper into something important. Sometimes life will test you not by making things harder, but by making people harder. People will misunderstand you on purpose. People will provoke you intentionally. People will try to pull you into emotional reactions just to see if they still have access to you. And in those moments, your silence becomes your strongest answer. Not silence out of fear. Silence out of control. Because responding to everything is not strength. Control is strength. Stay unbothered. And you will realize something powerful. Most conflicts are not even about truth. They are about ego. Two people trying to prove who is right instead of trying to understand what is real. And ego is expensive. It costs peace. It costs time. It costs energy. It costs clarity. But when you step out of ego, you step into peace. And peace always feels better than being right in the wrong situation. Stay unbothered. Because not every battle is worth your involvement. Not every misunderstanding needs correction. Not every situation needs your presence. Some things resolve themselves when you stop feeding them attention. Now imagine this version of you fully developed. You don't panic easily. You don't overthink easily. You don't react quickly. You don't explain unnecessarily. You don't chase closure from everyone. Instead, you move with calm certainty. That version of you does not get shaken by delay. That version of you does not collapse under pressure. That version of you does not lose focus because of noise. That version of you is powerful. And it is built slowly, through discipline. Stay unbothered. Even when you are misunderstood. Even when you are underestimated. Even when you are ignored. even when you are not appreciated. Because your value does not increase or decrease based on people's ability to see it. Gold does not become less gold because someone failed to recognize it. Now here is something very real you must accept. There will be moments where staying unbothered feels difficult. Moments where you want to react. Moments where your emotions feel too loud to ignore. That is normal. But discipline is not built in easy moments. It is built exactly there, in the moment you choose not to react. That pause is where your new identity is formed. And every time you choose calm over chaos, you become stronger. Stay unbothered. Because strength is not loud. Strength is consistent. Strength is controlled. Strength is quiet. And the quietest people often carry the strongest minds. Now as we move toward the deeper truth of this message, understand this. Life will not always give you control over situations. But it will always give you control over response. And your response is everything. Your response determines your peace. Your response determines your clarity. Your response determines your growth. Not the situation. So protect your response. Guard it like your future depends on it, because it does. Stay unbothered. And slowly, you will realize something beautiful happening inside you. You are no longer chasing emotional highs and lows. You are no longer addicted to drama. You are no longer dependent on validation. You are no longer controlled by outside noise. You are steady. And steadiness is rare in a world that constantly pulls people in every direction. So when you become steady, you become powerful. Now take this with you. Let life move how it wants. Let people act how they choose. Let situations unfold naturally. But you remain centered. Because the center is where peace lives. Stay unbothered. Now bring everything together in a simple truth you can carry with you in real life. Stay unbothered, not because life is easy, but because your peace is more important than anything trying to disturb it. If someone talks about you, let them talk. If someone misunderstands you, let them misunderstand. If something doesn't go your way, let it pass. Because the more you try to control everything around you, the more you lose control of yourself. And the moment you lose control of yourself, everything starts to feel heavy. But when you stay unbothered, life becomes lighter. You stop overthinking every message. You stop replaying every conversation. You stop fighting battles that don't matter. You stop giving energy to things that don't grow you. And slowly, you start to feel something powerful, peace that is not dependent on people, situations, or outcomes. That is real strength. Because strong people are not the ones who react the most. Strong people are the ones who stay calm the most. Now understand this clearly in your daily life. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every situation deserves your energy. Some things are just noise, and noise only becomes powerful when you focus on it. If you ignore it, it disappears. So protect your mind. Protect your focus. Protect your peace. And move like someone who understands that silence is power, patience is strength, and calmness is control. Stay unbothered, even when people don't see your effort. Stay unbothered, even when things are not moving fast. Stay unbothered, even when nobody claps for you yet. Because what is meant for you will still come, without you losing your peace for it. And now listen carefully. If this message helped you understand how to protect your mind, how to stay calm, and how to stop letting life control your emotions, then don't just watch and leave it here. Take 1 second and subscribe to this channel. Because this is where you learn how to build a stronger mind, a calmer life, and a version of you that cannot be easily shaken. And remember this as you go on with your day. No matter what happens, stay unbothered.